Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. Because I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
A movie which, by the way, reviewed by my mother, the review was, "Thank God you were on early, because we couldn't watch any more of that thing."
You got a wide berth here.
Well, this is a good scene. We're watching the infamous dildo scene.
You got trolled.
You were in, too.
Shut the fuck up. No, I didn't say shit. You got trolled. Corey West just trolled you.
Real script.
They didn't even give him a script when he got the job. They gave him a bottle of Stoli and said, learn this.
Did you stumble on the joke?
Talk about this movie for fart's sake.
This is we can swear. This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Hey, Lily.
Oh, hey, Krista.
Did you know, according to an unproven internet meme, you will cross paths with a murderer 36 times in your lifetime?
I did know that, and you want to know why?
I can guess.
Because we're 36 Times, a Canadian true crime and comedy podcast, which covers crimes in the Great White North.
Every episode, we focus on a major crime, and then we lighten things up with a kooky one.
We cover everything from major cases and unsolved mysteries to peculiar getaway choices and animals behaving oddly.
So catch our bi-weekly episodes on iTunes or wherever you find your podcasts.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Oh, hey again, Internet. Did you miss me? Shane Dawson must really be getting to my head lately, because here I am releasing a part 2 of my episode that wasn't even that long. I probably could have released it as one episode, but you know what? I think it's better this way. This second part of my episode with my friend Kristen is talking about love and sex addiction, which is something that, you'll hear me talk about in the episode, but it's something that I kept being told to look into by multiple friends, and eventually I did and realized, holy shit, a lot of these characteristics are things that I really, really relate to. Do I think I'm a love and sex addict? I don't know. I don't know if I would go so far as to just straight out say that. For me, it was kind of a situation where I finally kind of looked into it. And when I was reading the characteristics, just like on my phone, laying in bed, I just burst into tears because when I was reading them, I just thought to myself, like, I've never related to something so much in my life. And the feelings that I've had for so long were finally like on paper and articulated in a way that totally explained exactly what I've been going through. So that moment for me was very, very intense. And it took me a while to actually be able to sit down and talk about it. That's kind of why I chickened out on Kristen the first time. We were set to record and I was just like, I'm not ready yet. I need more time. Because we kind of had this deal where we would talk about, addiction in terms of drugs and alcohol, but also the love and sex side of things. So it took some time, but here we are. One thing I want to stress is that my thoughts in this episode are not about any one particular situation 100%. And by that, I mean, I've been single for 6 years. I've had various experiences with guys, none that were soul crushing or just absolutely destroyed me. So I guess what I mean is this is more of a accumulation of very common themes in my dynamics with men. This is kind of a reflection on me more than anything. So rather than placing blame on guys for hurting me or pushing it off on them, I have really started to look inwards at my behaviors, at the type of guys that I go for, at the situations that I'm drawn to, and really start to reflect on those. Now, I'm certainly not perfect, and I'm still working on a lot of stuff. I'm still figuring that out. But looking into love and sex addiction has been super pivotal for me in being way more self-aware with my behaviors. So that's what this episode is all about. Me and Kristen have an excellent discussion about it. I loved it. It was a great therapy session. This is another super personal episode for me because this is kind of me laying down on the therapy chair. And this has happened a couple times on the show. I really needed to talk about this. This is something that's been on my mind for months and that I've been kind of sitting with it for a long time and thinking about it. And I'm super happy to have a friend like Kristen sit down with me and talk about it. So thanks once again to Kristen. What a champ. She's great. It was really refreshing to sit down with a friend who feels the same things as me. It doesn't always happen. I have a lot of close friends, but we don't always relate to each other. And this was truly a moment and an evening where it was just such a good back and forth, such a good conversation, and just overall awesome. I love this second part, and I actually think a lot of people might relate to this. It's not something that you always think about. You don't always think I might be a love and sex addict, but if you really actually look into it, it's crazy how relatable the characteristics are. And for me, I always just kind of thought, well, I'm not banging a lot, and it's not like I've had a shit ton of boyfriends or relationships. I'm not someone who has had a lot, and it's not like I jump from person to person really quickly. But what you come to learn about it is it's more about the why you do things and the self-destruction behind it as well. Another thing I want to mention is the show Love on Netflix is amazing. I found myself always really relating to the main character, Mickey. And it's funny because I would hear other people talk about it and just be like, I hate Mickey. She's the worst. She's terrible. And I was sitting here going, I really relate to Mickey. Fuck. And in that show, she is a love and sex addict. So if you find this episode compelling, if you find yourself relating, and if you haven't watched Love on Netflix, do so. It's such a good show. But anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbering. I hope you guys enjoy part 2 with Kristen. Don't forget to follow the podcast on social media, subscribe wherever you find podcasts, and leave a rating or review if you are so inclined. That's it, guys. Enjoy the episode. We are gonna talk about love and sex addiction now, which is something that I always used to laugh at.
Yeah.
I never thought that was a thing. And I think that that's a lot of people have that opinion of it.
Totally.
And I didn't think it was legit either. And actually, when we had our coffee date a while back, talking about this episode, we started talking about our guy issues.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we bonded over it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Our kind of need to go for people who are bad for us, essentially.
Yeah.
And I was always a denier of my behavior. In other words, people would be like, you seem to go after unavailable guys. And I'd be like, no, they just fall into my lap. They're just the ones who are drawn to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying for so fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I would just make excuses for my own behavior, essentially. Totally. And these weird habits that I have that I didn't really realize were it's all the same thing. It's unavailable guys. It's emotionally unavailable. They could be available, but they're emotionally unavailable.
Yep. Which
is a huge one. You can be single as fuck, but be totally emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
And also manipulators.
Right.
They make you feel good. So I'll take the manipulation over the, not feeling alone.
Absolutely. And
you know what I mean?
We're being manipulated.
Yeah. So I actually we had our coffee date, and I think things got worse for me from there.
It's probably because you started noticing after
I started noticing it, yeah. And I actually had 2 separate friends be like, you might want to look into love and sex addiction. Maybe just consider that. And I was always like, well, that's not me because number one, I don't bang a lot.
Right.
I want to bang a lot.
I know.
I have a very high sex drive.
all the time.
I would be banging every night if I could, but
right.
It's just not the circumstance.
Well, you could. I mean, you could always just swipe right.
You could.
Yeah.
But no, I need the chase.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Chaos.
Exactly. It's all circling back to that addiction to chaos. But I had 2 friends tell me that, and once both of them said it, I was like, maybe I should look into this. So I found a list of the 12 characteristics of love and sex addiction. And so, question for you, and I don't know if you know the answer or not, but is it possible to be a sex addict but not a love and sex addict? Like, sex addiction could be its own thing, but love and sex addiction is a different
I would definitely
thing,
say they are and can be separated. So I would, I'm definitely not a sex addict. I definitely am a love addict. I fall hard and I need to have attention and I need to have someone caring about me. And I mean, I guess I don't need that, but that's what I crave. But by no means would I ever say I'm a sex addict. And I know sex addicts that aren't love addicts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I feel like I pull from two pools.
Right.
But not fully one of the other.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Right.
So like I'm not running around going like I'm a love and sex addict. But it's more like, you know what I mean? It's just like not one of the cool things to say or addicted to.
Right. Like that's on the list of things not to say.
I know, right? Yeah. But it's a weird thing for me to come to terms with because for so long I was just like, oh no, these just happen to be the situations that I fall into.
Totally, but we subconsciously put ourselves into these situations.
And that's what you said at coffee that blew my mind. That was like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
maybe
I know.
I am.
How many times have I said like, oh, this person just sideswiped me? Like I wasn't looking for them, and then all of a sudden now I'm. Anyways,
and now I'm here. Waiting for their text.
Waiting for them to text me.
So like that's something that I started recognizing in myself with I would say like various situations with guys.
Right.
Some are friends, some are not. But just putting so much like happiness and my self-worth into how they treat me. Totally. In other words, okay, if they're not texting me back, then I'm a piece of shit.
Right.
Rather than they're not texting me back because maybe they're not into it and maybe this isn't the right person for me, so maybe I should just move the fuck on and have a night out with my... like,
God forbid us be so level-headed.
It was just never that simple. Like, I would stew on things, like stupid little things that my friends around me are going like, just fucking be done with him.
Right.
Be done with him.
Totally. But there's a high you get.
There's a high you get 100%.
Totally. Like they give you a little and you get like, oh God, yeah, I got a little. And then they smash your feelings and you plummet and you're feeling so bad about yourself. And then you're like, okay, I've got to get over this. I got to get over him. Never again. And then he gives you one little thing and you're like, okay, maybe this time, but maybe next, if he does it again, I will. And then it keeps happening. It's
a cycle. And it's also, there's a new term for it.
Oh.
It's called breadcrumbing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think
Well, actually, breadcrumbing, yeah, maybe not. I think the breadcrumbing definition is more about social media.
I don't know if, So I think breadcrumbing has to do with like dating, like they give you a little bit through text message and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's a little more shallow.
I think it's more shallow. It's not, you haven't built an emotional attachment to the person yet.
Breadcrumbing, defined by Urban Dictionary as the act of sending out flirtatious but non-committal text messages in order to lure a sexual partner without expending too much effort. I mean, that's 100% my life, but like that sums up most of my dynamics with guys. Totally.
I will definitely say I've been a breadcrumber.
You've done it?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, I've been a ghoster. Like, yeah.
Ooh.
I know.
Do you think do you like the power?
No, I go through these phases where I'm like, oh, I'm lonely. I want a date. And then I do the whole fucking Tinder and Bumble shit. And then I decide I don't want to do that anymore. And I've like already started talking to someone and but I've also been breadcrumbed and
it's shitty.
Ghosted for sure.
It's fucking shitty.
See, yeah, I don't know. Like, the breadcrumbing and the ghosting doesn't really bother me if I haven't had any like actual meets with a person.
Right.
Like,
oh no, that's true.
Yeah.
100%.
Like that doesn't really.
And I don't really think it counts as ghosting unless you've dated them a couple times.
Right.
Or like gone on a couple dates at least.
Right.
You know? love, and I'm just going to pull up these characters. I'm going to read these characteristics.
Yeah, read them.
Because these would be actually good discussion points.
Well, I have a 2-bite brownie.
Yes. And Sarah I will be bearing my soul now. So the first one, and like, I just want to say as well, like, I went to this website and it's slaafws.org. So it's kind of like an official-ish website for love and sex addiction.
It's .org. That's legit.
.org, yo. Which I never thought existed. Like, I kind of told myself, if I Google this and nothing legit comes up, then it's probably not a real thing. But because I found like a legitimate website that seems to have done a lot of research, and then I went into the Reddit forums, and it just it spirals from there. But number one is having few healthy boundaries. And so like they talk in the person of we, like in other words, like we, like you are an addict, like we as people do this. Yeah. So it's having few healthy boundaries, we become sexually involved with and or emotionally attached to people without knowing them. So that doesn't really apply to me that much, I don't think. Unless they're referring to close. I don't know, maybe it does. Like now that I think of, like, when they say not really knowing them, you know, maybe that's in my mind casual sex partners that I don't know a lot about that I get attached to.
Right.
Could be that.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, I think sex is like Russian roulette to me. Like, I'll either never want to see you again or like I become obsessed.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Ooh, that's
9 times out of 10, I'm like, eh.
See, 9 times out of 10, I'm like, breakfast? date me, please. Date me.
I've already planned our wedding.
Yeah. I'm so glad this is going in at the end of the episode. So number 2 is fearing abandonment and loneliness. We stay in and return to painful, destructive relationships, concealing our dependency needs from ourselves and others, growing more and more isolated and alienated from friends, loved ones, ourselves, and God. That's a heavy hitter.
That is a heavy hitter. That is the one I relate to the most.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a huge one.
Fear of abandonment. Like, yeah.
Because all the times that I have spiraled, it's because I've thought that I've been losing people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And when I spiral and I think I'm losing someone, I do things that make me push them away even more.
Because neediness is so hot, right?
Right. So
guys don't find that hot?
Big turn on.
I wish they did, because if that was the case, I'd get laid a lot more.
Yeah, and then you could like officially be a sex addict.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. But no, that's so true, because I find too, like, I'll have moments of strength with dudes where I'll stand up for myself, or I will feel like I'm taking a step to kind of, you know, quote unquote, get rid of them or break it off with them. And then they will be like, all right, we'll see ya. And I'll be like, well, no.
No,
like,
no. I'm the one that needs to do that. You need to stay.
Exactly. You got to stay and just
so I can
change.
Go.
You have to just change and fight for me, and things will be fine.
Exactly.
And it's like these people aren't in situations to fight for me at all.
No.
So it's a fucked up.
But do you think like we like this behavior comes naturally, or like we're brainwashed by like Hollywood and what love's supposed to be? And
I think it's a combination of things.
Right.
So for me personally, I think, yeah, definitely media plays, I think, a small part. You know, fucking romantic comedies are like, oh, if you walk away from a guy, he'll just run after you.
It's like,
he'll just run after you and grab you and kiss. And it's like, you know, the fucking OC is, I say it a number of times, has ruined my life for like Ferris wheels and New Year's Eve. Because scene New Year's Eve when he like comes in right at midnight and like kisses her. And I'm just like, every New Year's Eve I think about that.
I know. I do too. I'm like,
so dumb.
I'll get my kiss. No.
And I know it's such a stupid fucking tradition that doesn't mean anything, yet every New Year's Eve I get really down on myself that I don't have a date or I don't have a guy there.
But I also think a big part of life is being a part of, right? And if you're not a part of that, it's a bummer, right? Like, totally is a bummer for me anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
it's FOMO.
and that's a legit thing.
I
don't care about how lame I sound.
Yeah, is it ever.
FOMO is totally real.
And it's kind of like just another way of saying like keeping up with the Joneses, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
totally.
Same kind of thing. But I think personally, and if we're getting real deep, we're only on number 2. But we're gonna get real deep. I've thought about it long and hard, over the past, even recently, since discovering that, a lot of these apply to me. I feel like me going after unavailable guys or bad guys for me comes from a couple of different weird dark places. One being that when I was really in love with someone, I got cheated on and left for another person. So it was a situation where he literally fell in love with another woman and they're now married and still together and they're each other's people. They found each other.
Right.
I was the byproduct of that. And I was, so I think and this is really fucking gross to say, but I think deep down I'm maybe one of these guys will leave their person for me and maybe I will be the new wife or and you hear about stories all the time. It depends on what you people say. Once a cheater, always a cheater. But in this case, he cheated on me and found his wife, and they're now happy.
Right.
So I don't necessarily believe in that, but I think it comes from that, and I think it comes from just really low self-worth.
Totally.
And putting way too much of my worth in what other people think, and specifically men.
Right.
And equating confidence to what guys think, not necessarily. I have women in my life all the time fucking talking me up.
Totally.
And telling me how awesome I am.
Yep.
But when I hear it, it doesn't have the same effect on me as when a guy says it. When a guy says it, I feel like I'm on a drug.
Totally. If my 10 friends can tell me in a day how great I look, but as soon
and you're
as
just and you say
girls,
you say thank you.
Thank you. When the women say it, it's thank you, that's nice. But when a man says it to me, it's oh my gosh, I've arrived.
100%.
Yeah.
And I've also been very much so known to get way too excited way too early.
So me too. Oh my God, me too. Put all the eggs in the basket.
Just oh my God, he texted me back. It must be serious.
Yeah. Oh my God, he responded. He messaged me first. We're thinking a fall wedding.
Bridesmaids' dresses will be burgundy.
Yeah, that was perfect. People like it in burgundy.
I've always been known to get and there's and I think it's one of the last ones, but we're gonna get to it. But there's one point in here that's really strikes a chord with me. But let's keep going. So we're only on number 3, which is fearing emotional and or sexual deprivation. We compulsively pursue and involve ourselves in one relationship after another, sometimes having more than one sexual or emotional liaison at a time. That one
I don't relate to that one.
Yeah, that one's I don't relate to as much.
No.
I will say that I did have a promiscuous time in my life where I didn't really care. And I was open to that.
Right.
But that resulted in bad things that taught me lessons and da-da-da-da-da.
See, yeah, I mean, I definitely have been promiscuous in my past with being an alcoholic, right? But that's not who I know.
Right. One thing I'll speak to that is I tend to be the person who thinks because I'm not getting laid, I must not be awesome. Which is a very sad thing to think about.
See, I think you are fucking awesome. And honestly, I never get laid, and I think I'm pretty fucking awesome.
See, and I need to get there, though.
Yeah, I wasn't always here, though, so.
I think I am getting there. It's just I think I did recently relapse when I had a situation where I had kind of a fantasy with somebody built up, and it didn't end up happening.
Right.
And I ended up, that made me feel really low.
Totally.
So... that's the only way I can relate to that.
Totally.
Is the sense of I feel like I should be getting laid more, and I put a lot of weight into that, and I shouldn't.
Right.
I really shouldn't.
Definitely, getting laid doesn't equal your worth, it shouldn't.
Yeah.
But I can see why you go there. But,
yeah. I think it's
really but really at the end of the day, if you're out there being completely promiscuous, doesn't that take away your worth?
A little bit.
I think
exactly.
I'm not trying to say like some people that do that like they're not worth more, because I think everyone is worth like everything, but I just think like if you're going on it by society,
yeah, that's true.
You're less of a lady.
Yeah, I know that's true.
Out there. And by no means am I not out there.
If you're in a healthy mindset and you want to fuck everyone, cool. But make your healthy mindset the number one. As long as you're okay with it.
Yeah.
As long as you are okay mentally.
And not feeling like that's what you have to do.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's what it's all about.
Totally.
So I think I relate to it in that way, in the sense of I do put a lot of weight into sex, and I shouldn't. Considering how little I get laid.
Oh man, I think I wouldn't put as much weight. Yeah, I definitely. Oh man,
it happens, and I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening.
I think I see you more than I have sex.
Oh my god. Do you crave it, or are you just?
I think about it a lot, and like I'm like, but I just don't. I don't know. I have a lot of things. Like I'm not very. Like I didn't have sober sex till I was 32.
That's insane.
So I really don't know what I'm doing. I don't think.
Maybe it's just that
like I'm insecure when it comes to sex, for sure.
Yeah, that's really tricky. The drunk sex thing becomes normal, and then
I was like, wait a second, I don't know what I'm doing. And now I'm literally like mentally a 16-year-old.
But you know what? I think that
no offense to 16-year-olds.
But I think that will come with a good partner.
Totally.
Like, I think if you are in a better spot in your life, you're going to draw in more positive people. And that will hopefully draw in somebody that you're comfortable with. And that you can kind of be like, I'm down here.
Totally. And then I'm comfortable.
And then they won't care. Like, they'll just be down with it because they like you for you.
Right, exactly.
Which is like, what's that like?
Yeah, I wonder what that is like.
That must be
I'm just
fun.
kidding. That happens?
I know, right? So number 4 is we confuse love with neediness. Yeah. Physical and sexual attraction, pity, and or the need to rescue and be rescued.
Oh my God. So I read that today. So I was reading, no, it wasn't today. It was yesterday. I was reading the top 10 characteristics of adult children of alcoholics. And it was one of them was confusing love with pity.
Yeah.
Confusing love and pity. And like, I get that.
Holy shit.
Like, I don't pity it. Like, I don't actually think I fully relate in my experience, but I understand.
I understand that.
Like, that for sure.
Yeah. That's a tough one.
I don't feel like I need to be rescued, but I do like, well, like, I'm codependent, so I like to rescue people.
I do too.
Right.
And that comes from dating an alcoholic, actually.
Totally. Yeah.
Because I dated one, and I had to always take care of him.
Totally.
I had to always, and I think I don't know if you agree, but maybe we are people who give a lot of emotional labor to people.
Right.
Because we're givers. Because we want to please.
Well, there's 2 different types of codependence.
Yeah.
There's givers and takers.
We're the givers.
Yeah, we're the givers. And that's exhausting.
It's fucking exhausting.
And when I say rescuing people, like, by no means do I think, like, I'm going to save someone.
No.
Like, I don't think that I can keep someone sober. But I want to caretake people.
And also, I think it's seeing people who have clear red flags and being like, oh, well, they're still good in them.
Right, totally.
So I'm going to nurture, and your friends around you are going,
what the fuck is she doing?
This guy's a psycho.
Yeah, psycho. And then when you do nurture him and you get him like all patched up and everything, he's ready you've set him up for another woman.
To just move on. We need to start
sending triage.
Oh my fuck. Like, we gotta start invoicing for emotional labor.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Like, charging for that shit.
Totally.
Because I think, and there's, because I'm someone who is very open, and I have no problem being vulnerable to like friends or like people in my life that I'm close with. So I find sometimes what happens is like I will open up or be vulnerable to somebody, and I will want the pity and I will want them to feel sorry for me, but it'll either go in one of two ways. It'll go in, she's seeking attention and that's gross, or they will give me the pity, in which case, ooh, that feels good.
Right, totally.
And like that's a weird thing to experience.
Well, I used to be there, like I've been there. That was a big part of my life for a while. Like I was a victim and I loved people
the victim
pitying
and
me.
oh
like,
yeah,
I was a martyr. It makes me, honestly, it gives me chills just thinking about that time in my life. So like now it's like I'm quick to react if I'm about to go seek the pity. I'm like, oh no, we're not going back. We're not going down that road.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. That's a really good sign. Okay, here we go. Number 5. We feel empty and incomplete when we are alone. Even though we fear intimacy and commitment, we continually search for relationships and sexual contact.
Winner!
And number 5 is a ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more.
Totally.
Like the nights that I am very sad, very down on myself, it's because I feel lonely.
Totally.
And I don't have somebody. I posted a fucking audio diary this week. So
where was that posted? I need to catch up.
It's kind of a little bit of a secret post. It's on our website, InTalksicatedPodcast.com, so you can listen to it on the web player on there, but it never went up on the podcast feed because I didn't want it to be like a downer.
Right.
Like I was like, I had a really bad week last week, and I was reading stuff in the news, and the news was making it worse. You know, the whole Ford stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Like that was making it, and I was feeling, I hate saying the word triggered, but a little triggered by everything.
Right.
And I came home and I literally laid in bed and I took this mic and I took it off and I laid in bed with the mic and just talked into it and talked very honestly. And I said, and the hardest moment of the audio diary for me was I said, I know that I'm not easy to love. And that was like one of the hardest things for me to ever say, because I tend to, this is turning full-blown therapy, I tend to like react to things going on around me.
Right.
And then I hate the reaction.
Right. You feel remorse from your reaction.
Yeah.
Totally.
So it becomes this like endless cycle of guilt. And that particular day, I was like, I had no other way to say it other than I just don't like being myself today.
Right.
That's not to say I hate myself or who I've become. It's just today.
Yeah.
I hate how I'm reacting to everything.
I totally relate.
I was dealing with a lot of Tinder bullshit as well. So people were kind of taking the stance of like, just ignore the Tinder guys. And I was like, yeah, but if we ignore them, they're never going to learn and they're going to keep raping people. Like I just went down a hole.
Totally.
And I got totally affected by it. And then I came home and I was like, I hate that I got so affected by that.
Right.
And I talked into the mic.
Have you, like, this, I'm not trying to be like therapy.
Yeah, this is full-blown therapy at this point.
Okay. Well, have you tried
meditation?
Meditation.
No, but I think I'm getting there. And the reason is that I've discovered ASMR, which is
Oh my God. Yes! I literally will put on ASMR YouTube videos.
I do too.
Sometimes I put cord cutting and ASMR on and I'm like, like it's just so.
So I think because I've discovered that and it relaxes me so much that I could maybe get it. Like maybe that is my form of meditation now. Like maybe I don't need full-blown silence.
No,
but it calms me down at night.
But the thing about meditation, it isn't actually like it's not really full-blown silence. What it is like being mindful, right?
Yeah.
So you're basically training your brain.
Right.
So you're supposed to have, like, your brain's your brain. You're supposed to have thoughts going all the time.
Right.
Basically, like you are. How I do it is I like sit there and I like focus on my breathing and or I focus on a part of my body and I breathe in and I breathe out, and sometimes it's my left shoulder and I feel it going up and down, and that's what I'm focusing on. And thoughts are going to come into my mind, and basically what you have to do is you acknowledge the thoughts and you start again. And then you acknowledge the thoughts and you start again. It's all like, and I'm basically quoting a video I watched. Because it's basically training your brain. Meditation is all about failing and starting over. Failing and starting over. Failing and starting over.
I'd love to get into it more.
Yeah, and it's cool. And I don't do it. Listen, I'm no freaking guru. Like, I don't sit there for 30 minutes at a time and like,
I know, it weirds me out a bit.
But I do
Yeah.
it for like minutes at a time, like
Okay.
2 to 3 minutes, like in the morning. And basically I just like just breathe in and out, and I focus on my breathing. I focus on my left shoulder, and then as soon as a thought comes into my mind, I acknowledge that thought and I say goodbye, and then I keep doing it for 3 minutes, and I set a timer, and I just
people say to do it in the morning because it actually clears your head for the day.
I'll even do it while I'm waiting for a bus.
Interesting.
Like-
I actually feel like I kind of did it today when I was in at my appointment. Right before the doctors were going to come in for my appointment today, I was like in like that sheet thing that you have to put over you because you're like
Right.
exposed. And I was just like, okay. And like they were kind of taking a long time. And I was literally just sitting there breathing.
Right.
And like had my eyes shut and everything. Didn't look at the phone. Could have been texting people.
Oh, then yeah.
Could have been texting
If you
people,
weren't
but I
on your
put the phone
you
away.
were definitely meditating.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's a step for me. I did a thing today, but I feel like if I can start incorporating that into my life, I truly do think I'm getting there. It's just it's gonna take some time.
It takes time, and honestly, like I still react. Don't get me wrong, but I react a lot less than I used to.
And that was the thing about Friday. Like I was just full blown emotional.
Totally.
Everything was just setting me off. And I just had to like rant into the mic. And after I posted the episode, I was just like, that was probably a mistake, but oh well.
Well, but did you feel better after you did it? So then it wasn't a mistake. Because if you're feeling like that, because like as much as we like to think we are special and one of a kind, we're not. People have those feelings.
So
we
true.
all share the same feelings. I'm going to go on one quick tangent before we go to the next one, but that's what I loved about memes coming to play was like memes were happening and things that I never told any other human were showing up on the screen. I'm like, holy shit, I am not the only fucked up person that thought about this.
What's your one that? So one that really resonated with me was that it was like the seal smiling, like the smiley seal, and it's the feeling you get when you wake up and you know that you have all of your teeth. And I was like, yes, because I have dreams about losing my teeth all the time.
Do you know what that means?
Money problems.
Yeah.
So
I've had those dreams too. I'm always like,
I have them too much.
Yeah, I have them too much. Yeah.
Money is a whole other stress. Like
totally.
So I think your 30s are the most stressful times. I don't remember being this stressed out in my 20s.
See, I'm a different. Like I feel less stressed out now than I ever did. Like I was always stressed.
Yeah.
But
all the stresses.
So 5 we related to.
5 was a big dinger.
Yeah.
So number 6 is we sexualize stress, guilt, loneliness. Yeah, we sexualize stress, guilt, loneliness, anger, shame, fear, and envy. We use sex or emotional dependence as substitutes for nurturing, care, and support.
Yes. I wouldn't say,
It's not as hard of a ding, but it's a ding.
It is a ding.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say for me, sex, but the attention.
Yeah.
Like if I'm feeling lonely, if I'm feeling like I need attention, like that's where I fall.
Oh,
like,
same.
I will like use whatever I can to get that attention. 100%. Not that I like. Yeah.
I tend to instantly go to sex, and then I'll go to booze if I can't get sex.
Oh, see, I go like I will reload the Tinder.
Yeah.
Like if that is happening, and I'm not going on Tinder to meet people. I'm going on someone to match with to get that validation. And then move on.
It's a validation train. It's interesting that it says like we sexualize stress, because I always think about like when I do have a stressful day, I either say one of two things, which is I need a drink or I need to get laid.
Right.
Like that's something that's engraved in my head is like sex. And people my friends make jokes, and I agree with it. They're like, Sarah's a more laid back, fun person when she's getting sex.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's funny. I'll show up to work and I'll be in a good mood, and people are like, "Oh, did you get laid last night?" And I'm like, "No."
That's awesome, though.
I know. I'm like, yeah.
Me will be like, "Yep, that's exactly what did it."
I'm like, but if you think I'm getting laid, I'll let you think that, because for some reason that gives me some type of worth.
Oh God, it's just it's really fucked. Like, and I just don't know. And I truly like. Actually, Rebecca, Our old coworker.
Which is hilarious because I work at where I work now. Like there was a Rebecca, so the people might think we're talking about. Disclaimer: this is our old workplace.
So many Rebeccas.
Yeah.
We did a confidence episode. Where we talked about body confidence.
Cool.
And in that, I was talking about how, and I'll have to look at the date because in the episode, I'm like, oh, I'm finally at a spot where like I don't put my worth into guys, and so like. The fact that episode is out there shows that something has clearly happened between then and now that has made me, I guess, relapse back into like putting my worth back into men.
Totally.
Which I really shouldn't. Number 7. We're getting there. We use sex and emotional involvement to manipulate and control others.
I've definitely been guilty of that. Like I definitely use the emotional involvement to like I'll make someone pity me or something to get what I want for the attention I want. Like, oh, you're too busy, but you know I've had a really shitty day.
Yeah.
When I mean I could easily make it through without
right,
but I've used that before.
I do relate. Not as much as the others.
Not as much as 5.
Not as much. 5 got the hugest ding.
Yeah.
But the last one gets the biggest ding for me, but we'll get there. Number 8 is we become immobilized or seriously distracted by romantic or sexual obsessions or fantasies.
Yes.
And that I agree with 100%. Like there's never been a situation in which a real life scenario has played out the way I have it built up in my head.
That happened to me once, and it was like 10 years ago.
That it actually played out the same way?
It played out the way I was thinking.
Oh, really?
But that was literally like for a hot minute. But yeah, I can get very one-track mind.
Oh, same.
Same. Like I can get distracted at work. And
oh, God, yes.
Yeah. So like it's kind of, there's this person that I have feelings for right now, and I love that we don't text during the day. So I'm not distracted at work.
Oh,
like,
man.
He's not a texter. He works and he doesn't, we just don't text during the day. So it's good for me.
That's
it's like,
good.
I need that boundary because I will get like, check my phone.
And then it's like, if you like say they text and like, then you have to go into a meeting, you'll just be thinking about
oh my God, I know. I'm not even thinking, I'm not even in the meeting. Like, you know, so it's just, so. But yeah, like 100%. I've had to delete social media and stuff before, so I'm not like obsessed with the attention I'm gonna get from that person. Like, has so and so liked it yet?
Yeah. Right. Oh, that's a whole other dark place.
Totally. Yeah.
And what's even darker is never go, girls listening, if you have these same problems, never go on Instagram to the. There's like a place.
I don't go there.
Do you know what you're talking about? Where you can see what they're liking?
Nope. I am that like I don't go there on purpose. I know it. Yeah.
The reaction was just
because I know the spiral I will go into.
Because then you'll see what they're liking, and you'll be like, well, they're not liking any of my stuff,
right? And I'm not just like that with men. I'm like that with friends too. I'm like, you know, you haven't liked anything I've posted for like 6 days, but you like so-and-so's picture of her 100th selfie.
It's
like,
so wild.
You know, yeah,
why?
It's just
why?
So fucking sick.
Yeah, it's but this is the first step, knowing that it's sick.
Right.
Like,
true, fair.
We may not be there yet.
Yeah.
But I think we will get there.
Yeah.
And this is actually going to come out right after the episode about social media, so I think we can all agree that sometimes it's okay to take a social media break.
Totally.
Even me who loves it. I need a break every now and then.
I recommend it, and I love social media.
I do too. Yeah, I love and hate it.
Yeah.
In a weird way. We're on 9. We avoid responsibility for ourselves by attaching ourselves to people who are emotionally unavailable.
So yeah.
For me anyway.
For me, I see that in a so I think I subconsciously find people that are emotionally unavailable because of my fear of intimacy.
Yeah.
Right? So like I basically blame them for not being able to go any further, but like really do I want to go any further? Like
That's going right into the mic.
Yeah. So
I couldn't agree more.
Right.
I want intimacy so bad, yet I'm terrified of it.
Totally.
Because I haven't had it in so long.
Yeah.
And because sex has become too casual for me.
Right.
Yet, so I go for unavailable guys because I know, I'm probably never going to get that with them, but at least I can get some thrills here and there.
Totally.
Whatever they may be, whether that's like flirtatious texting or even a one night stand with them or something. Like, it's really fucked up.
Totally. Yep.
Like, why can't we just
why can't we just
what we
power
want?
through?
Yeah, why can't we just power through? But I think it's like where does that? How do you? That's the thing.
And like, yeah, it's just such a mind fuck. Honestly.
I haven't cuddled with someone in like.
That's what I want now.
I
didn't want cuddling for so long.
Me neither.
And now I'm like, that's where I'm at. Like, I want a companion, for sure.
I do too. I kind of realized it. I used to always be so anti-cuddling.
Yeah.
And I kind of realized it recently when I was like looking into weighted blankets.
Oh my God, I know, and the body pillows.
I want a weighted blanket just so I feel like
pressure.
Embraced. I want someone to hug me.
It's so true. I used to have a girlfriend who would purposely lay on me because I like craved human contact. I was like,
feels good.
You just need to lay on me for a couple hours and like.
People used to laugh at me, but skin hunger is a real fucking thing if you look it up.
Yeah,
the actual like craving of like just being like touched.
I need to be touched. Like I think I wrote a status like 3 years ago, and it said like, I think I pay to get my eyebrows waxed to just be sure someone touches me.
Yes. Me and my friend Andrea said once, well, let's get pedicures just so we can get our feet rubbed.
Right. Totally. Oh my God. Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Such a fucking
100%.
thing. That's a huge ding. That one gets a huge
ding. Huge ding.
I'm going to be honest, Kristen, we're not doing good with this. We're kind of checking a lot of the boxes. Like,
and that's probably like one of those like.
I love that we're dinging when we agree, which is essentially like we are love and sex addicts.
So, which is hilarious because like I've been to these groups before, these fellowships, and they're like, if you have 2 or more, you probably have a problem.
I think with this one, it's 3 or more.
We're like literally in the like 90% right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're
and
really
that's why
this.
when I saw this, it was so eye-opening. Number 10, we're getting there. We stay enslaved to emotional dependency, romantic intrigue, or compulsive sexual activities. We stay enslaved. Okay. To emotional dependencies. I think romantic intrigue is huge.
Yeah.
The idea of people and not necessarily the reality of the situation.
I stay around even if I get hurt emotionally.
Oh, big time.
And basically may say it's my fault or something. But definitely not like the sex part. But I do relate to the emotional.
Yeah, the emotional part's huge. Emotional dependency. Yeah, I tend. It sucks. I should reiterate, we're dinging a lot and laughing a lot, but I don't feel good that I relate to a lot of these.
Totally.
It's more of just like a realness factor of like, these are really relatable.
I use humor as a massive coping mechanism.
Oh, same. Yes, good.
We're just trying to make light of heavy topics.
Yeah, and that's what Intoxicated's about, really.
Totally.
Okay, number 11. We're getting to my favorite one soon. But number 11 is, to avoid feeling vulnerable, we may retreat from all intimate involvement, mistaking sexual and emotional anorexia for recovery.
Swearing off men. Yeah.
That's interesting. Mistaking sexual and emotional anorexia for recovery.
Right.
It's an interesting
Totally,
sense.
but that's like, so an alcoholic, like abstaining from drinking, but not doing anything to get better.
Right.
Like they're
I'm not. Yeah.
So they're a dry drunk.
Right.
So basically you're
this would be like
literally dry.
If I actually had my procedure and couldn't bang, I would be like, oh, well, I'm not banging, so I must be doing better.
Right.
When really it's like, no, girl, you got to be going to some therapy maybe and look into your self-esteem issues that you have.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. So are you ready for my favorite one?
Yes, I am.
This is the last one. We'll end it on this one. We assign magical qualities to others. We idealize and pursue them, then blame them for not fulfilling our fantasies and expectations.
My fucking God. That is...
Ding, ding, ding.
That is basically... Yeah. That's
Like, that's the one that did it for me. When I read that, I was like, yeah, that sums up so much of my life with guys. Like, ever since my ex, the past 6 years, really.
Right.
I've been idealizing people.
Right. And we like fantasize and...
Yeah.
You know, like I make fantasies all the time about like, oh, this, but it's just, and then I just get so angry that they're not
happening.
Not.
And the fucked up thing about that is, I mean, for me anyways, is like the fact that I do this with unavailable guys. So it's like, yeah, no shit, they're not going to fulfill my fantasies. They're not available.
Right.
And then I get pissed. I'm like, but I'm not allowed to be pissed.
Right. Like I'm not, I have no right to be pissed, but like.
So it's this weird fucked up thing.
Totally a fucked up cycle.
Yeah.
But like, it's just so frustrating. Because like we're two incredibly intelligent women. Mm-hmm. I think we're both intuitive and we both find ourselves in these messes.
Yeah.
But we don't see it clearly until we're outside of it.
100%.
We don't even know we're in it.
I'm noticing it more and more lately, oddly enough, because different female friends are popping up in my life and I'm like looking at them and I'm like, wow, like they're so bright and like big personalities and like there's so much there. And yet we're getting caught up with these fucking douchebags that like do not appreciate.
Right.
You know, or it's like there's nothing at all. Like it's this weird thing. And then I'm seeing like these women that are kind of meh and they're like finding people like all over the place. And it's just this weird. It's just weird to me.
Right. But like see, I don't think it's fair for us to say like this person's meh.
That's true.
Because the thing is like we don't know that.
They're just not us. They're just not the same personality type. They're just a different personality
type. And like
type.
I've definitely had that thought before. That's why I'm saying like I don't think it's fair because like I've been down this path with me before where I'm like, well, how come so and so can get
and that's where I go a lot.
Like,
yeah,
and I can't even get a guy to date me. Like,
but that goes into comparing ourselves to others, which we shouldn't fucking do because everybody is different and special in their own way.
And I need to edit my can't even get a guy to date me comment because like I'm definitely not desperate. Like like I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, whatever. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I definitely have an issue with comparing myself to others.
It's the worst. It's the root of so much stuff.
So much stuff.
And like that's the thing, and that's good that you're there. And I think I was there at one point, but I just think things have kind of flopped over for me.
Right.
I hate the word desperate. I don't like that stigma being attached. Like I just don't feel like it's wrong for someone to want to have a boyfriend.
Right. Like it is wrong.
But don't need it, I guess is the big thing.
Right.
In other words, like if it happens, like you said, if it happens, it happens. Cool. We all kind of want we want to be held.
Like
you know?
I do. I mean, you know, I'm recently learning that I am able to be connected to people.
Yeah.
And like that's what I do. I want that, but I'm not rushing it. Like
that's very
like
very
I've done the whole like, oh my God, I'm on Bumble and I'm messaging everyone because I have to message everyone because they don't have to message me because I'm the girl and you know, I'm like, and then I'll find someone and then I'll get married but like, that's not where I'm at anymore. Like I've not on the apps anymore.
Oh,
I'm
good.
just like, well, that's a lot. I just don't open them. I'm still on there. I keep meaning to delete myself.
I want to delete. Should we both delete our apps right now?
Right now.
Maybe that's a good way to end the episode.
Okay, I'm on it.
So that we aren't so wired in and always obsessive about this shit. Because it's you know what's funny? I have mine in a folder that's just called I Tried.
Oh my God, I love you.
So we go and delete these apps.
Okay, so
just to confirm, if I re-download these, my profile will still be there, right?
Yeah, yours. Like, so I'm actually going to delete my accounts.
Oh, okay. I'm just gonna delete the apps. I'm not as hardcore as you.
Delete, please. Well, I've been meaning to delete for a while. Oh no, I accidentally. So my screen's cracked. Do I want to delete because I found a relationship, billing issue, dissatisfied with service?
Those are the only three options?
Oh, and other.
Just
but
say,
other's no fun.
I would say other.
Yeah, let's go other. That's the most honest.
That's the most, because you're not dissatisfied with it. You're just.
Oh shit, I gotta put my password into, what the fuck's my password? Like that's like
They really make it so you can never leave.
seriously. You can check out anytime you like.
But you
What is
can
my
never-
password?
Do you have one that you use for everything like I do?
Oh my god,
That's what I
I'm
do.
stuck with Tinder. I've been forever.
I mean, you could just delete the app. That's what I did.
But my face is still out there.
Oh, you make a good point.
Okay, let's try I'm gonna try one last one and then I'll.
I should have just put it.
Oh my god, I'm starting to sweat. I can't delete it.
You can't?
No, it's like
Try a couple. You've got to have a couple that you've used.
delete account to delete. Oh, okay. No, I never needed a password.
What did you do?
It says type delete to get.
I was gonna say I don't think that.
I was like, I don't even remember. I'm like, must be my Facebook password, and I'm like sweating now. Okay.
Oh my god.
Bumble is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have Tinder on this phone. Anyways, so we're one down.
We're one down, and we're gonna get rid of them all.
They'll all go. I don't need that anymore. Like, how can you decide? And I mean, I can't say I could change my mind tomorrow, but like, how can you decide who you want? Like, what a picture? Like, there are people out there that I'm attracted to in person that I probably wouldn't see their picture.
That's just it.
And be like, oh, I'm gonna swipe right on them.
It's far too complicated.
And it's not
for the
that
medium.
I'm shallow.
No, not at all.
I don't find people attractive till I know them.
And I personally just feel like I've gotten too many shitty situations on there lately that it's like actually flooding my mind to a point where I need the fucking break. I just need them to not be on my phone. I just got to focus on other stuff and try to get out of this slump.
Yeah, you'll get out of there. So. And the thing is like, in my experience, like out of every shitty time in my life, like that's when I powered through the most after it. Like, you know what I mean? Like once I got out of that slump, like things started happening.
Exactly. I think the more slumps you have, the stronger you'll get.
Yeah, the stronger you get, the more you can do, and the more you freaking wow your own, like you surprise yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, that's whatever.
This was so great.
This was awesome.
You're fucking awesome.
You're fucking awesome.
You're like, your whole story is just, you're gonna laugh, but it's inspirational to me.
Well, it's so funny that you say that because like I am so bored of my story. Like, and I feel like people are bored of my story. Like, oh yeah, we get it, Kristen. You got sober, you lost some weight, you're on
More
now.
people are gonna hear it now and be inspired, hopefully.
Well, you know, it's a pretty decent way to live, that's for sure.
Write a book, goddammit. Go on Oprah, would ya?
I'm so fucking lazy. That's the problem. Actually, I have to tell you a really funny story quickly. My girlfriends and I met two girls in my running club, and they became like probably two of the closest women to me, and we're all like self-proclaimed narcissists. And we like wanted to do like blogging, but like no. So we've decided we're gonna do a blog called The Lazy Narcissists. However, we made that decision like a year ago and nothing even done yet.
This is one thing I will say. I'm just throwing it out there. I feel like podcasting is lazy blogging.
Really?
Because did you feel like this was work tonight?
No, this was
so there you go.
Very enjoyable.
And then all you have to do is go back and edit out whatever you want to edit out, and that just takes however long the episode is.
Right.
And then you have a fucking blog post in audio form.
That's
so you should
awesome.
start a podcast called The Lazy Narcissists.
You know what? You're not wrong.
With your running group ladies.
You'd have to like show
I'd
me
listen
how
to that
do
shit.
it.
I would fucking teach.
So I'd have no idea.
I have a friend from high school who's starting a podcast who I'm teaching.
Oh, really?
I'm kind of like showing him the ropes and helping him launch it. So I would love to do that for anyone who wants to get into podcasting. I can't recommend it enough. If you're someone who likes to talk and you're a good talker, you're good at it. You're good at it.
Thank you.
It's such an easy way to get things out. Like I used to want to do a blog too, and I just don't like writing as much as I like talking.
Yeah, I think it would be cool. Like, yeah, I've just started like listening to podcasts like in the last 6 months. So, and I'm really digging them. So
think about it.
Yeah,
That's
I think
all I'm gonna say.
I think that is definitely a possibility.
I would subscribe to that shit.
Perfect.
The Lazy Narcissist, because it's so true. I'm a big fat narcissist.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
I can't say thank you enough. This was fucking phenomenal.
I had a great time.
And I hope you'll come back on. I feel like we covered a lot of heavy subject matter for 2 hours. Like we kind of scraped the surface of like, you know, drug addiction, alcohol, love and sex. Like we went in, we kind of covered everything, but like we could even go deeper maybe. So.
Yeah, we like grazed this.
This is like we grazed the surface.
Yeah.
So you're welcome to come back whenever.
Oh, I'm down to come back whenever. And I'm cool to come back when you do have the drinking episodes. Like I'm not a downer, I promise. I swear I'm cool.
Hell yeah, you're really fucking cool, man. Oh man, thanks so much. And we end the episode with a bell ring. So ring that bell.